My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I am re-reviewing Tom Ford Oud Wood. This is £178 for 50ml and £254 for 100ml. And this is £412 for 250ml, and it comes in a conditioning beard oil, body moisturizer and a deodorant and a candle. Fantastic. The notes are rosewood, cardamom, Chinese pepper, heart notes are oud, sandalwood, vetiver. The base notes are vanilla and amber. And the spiel is, do you know that this oud wood Eau de Parfum from Tom Ford's private blend collection contains one of the rarest, exotic and expensive ingredients in the perfumer's arsenal? Careful how you say that. Yes, it's stacked with, you guessed it, oud wood. Often burned in the incense-filled temples of Bhutan. I'd love to go to Bhutan. The smoky scent consists of exotic rosewood and cardamom. Here you'll find the accord accompanied by notes of sandalwood, vanilla, vetiver, amber and tonka bean. Here you'll find the accord accompanied by notes. So what do you think that means? Here you'll find the accord. Do we have our bottles of Oud Wood by Tom Ford? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So in my hand, I have carbon and I have Oud Wood. And we all know that Oud Wood by Tom Ford has performance issues. Please leave your comments below if it used to be stronger, if it used to be beast-like, because I remember wearing it years ago, having performance issues with it. And this is why I designed carbon for fragrances which you love, but which you wish lasted longer and projected longer. So this side I'll put the carbon and Oud Wood, and this side I'll put the Oud Wood. So 2 sprays of carbon, I love it on its own, and then we're going to do 2 sprays. But generally speaking, I say do 2 sprays of carbon and 4 sprays of your perfume. So I love Oud Wood. I think it's a beautiful scent. I think it's masterfully created, and I think it's Tom Ford at its finest. In this period, Noir de Noir, Oud Fleur, the Tobacco Oud and Oud Wood were brilliant. And I would love to see Tom Ford going back to doing stuff like this. Great perfumery. I consider all those sort of fragrances unisex, just glorious perfumery, done really well, inspiring and gorgeous. And this is such a great scent that it's been duped and copied multiple amounts of times. And I recorded with Chris at the weekend, and he was telling me about a very large fragrance house that released a fragrance, I can't remember what it was called, and that was, the company said they love Oud Wood, and so they're doing their take on it. What do you think about that? What do you think about companies, very large companies, saying that they're taking inspiration from it and they're sort of copying it and making it better and charging twice as much, I'd like to add. What do you think about that? Are you okay with it? What do you buy? Do you buy the dupes? Do you buy the very expensive versions, or do you buy Oud Wood? Do you have problems with the longevity and projection and all of that? I'm really curious to know. Light, airy, has an ozonic nature to it without using the ozonic-like raw materials, which are the precycling blee, the aquanil, fluorozone. So there are some other ozonic raw materials, but those are generally the ozonic molecules that give lift. These are not within this formulation, and this is such a clever formulation to give that light, airy nature to it. And the most likable scents, what I think, are light, airy, loads of sillage, and long lasting. I think that's a great perfume. This starts off beautifully dry. So this starts off based upon Isoi Super, definitely ambroxan through the base, and the other wood-like raw materials. Cephalis, obviously. Cephalis is classified as a oriental-like wood. Now everyone finds oriental fragrances particularly offensive. I don't know really what we're going to call that, but it is that's what I classify as more of the oriental type woods, goes with vanillas and ambers and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely cashmerean to give lift and lightness and airiness to the formulation. That's how they're doing it. And Cathalis and Cashmarin are the start of an OUD accord, and that's really known out there. You can put that into the internet and that's what you come up with. Experimenting with the percentages will give you your own OUD accord, but you have to add other wood-like raw materials to it and other facets to it to give it your own OUD accord. This is just a beautiful, perfect balance of musks. A clean musk to give support, cleanness to the formulation, a musk to smooth it through the base, and a musk to act upon the top to give further lift when combined with the Cashmarin. My favourite thing about this formulation is the combination of lily of the valley raw materials combined with the musk choice as well, and the ambroxan, and that's giving that dry lift, softness and cleanness to the formulation. That is what you're feeling. Combined with linalool is drying it out further and giving it a lovely dry top note to it. As it dries down, it starts to get smoky. So there's a beautiful smoky photonic nature, real sensual dark smokiness to that. And that is Galac wood. And Galac wood is solid at room temperature. It's greeny brown, looks like quite cool crystal, like sharp. It looks a bit like when you get sugar and you crystallize sugar and it forms like sharp angular shapes, but that in a dense form it has those sort of sharp angular shapes, and it's greeny brown depending on the concentration and depending on where the light catches it. Cyprol and other balsams help to make it dry and tinny, and in work I've been developing something and been developing dry metallic notes to go with OUD, because I love OUD, and we call it in work, we have like code names for all these sort of different things. Oh, that smells like that smells like that. And we call the dry, it's almost like tannin-like quality. We call it like a dentist feel, that sort of medicinal dentist thing. But when you work with that, you have to soften it off. And that's what's happening with the OUD wood. It is dry, metallic, sharp, spiky, and that combined with the woods, the softness, all of that is OUD wood, and that's why it's a glorious, beautiful formulation. But it is starting to dry down on my skin now, becoming a skin scent, and the sillage from this isn't particularly awesome on my skin, and in my opinion, of course, onto this side. Better, sweeter. It hasn't altered the OUD wood, but it has picked it up and given it more robust, strong feel to it, like a wall of OUD wood. The original OUD wood is light and airy, sort of shapeless, formless, and is moving out, pretty much drying down to a skin scent. This is keeping the form and shape and keeping respect to the original perfume. And really, I think, I was talking about this yesterday with my amazing staff, that carbon should be in everybody's fragrance wardrobe, because it doesn't alter the fragrance DNA, but it makes things more robust, strong, more sillage, more long lasting, but you don't change it. And I designed it for, I love the Chanel fragrances. I think they're really beautiful, classic. I really, really love them. But on myself, the performance was appalling on my skin, and I really wanted to enjoy the fragrances more. And that's why I really went and reworked animalics and turned it into carbon to not put in too many animal notes and to give enjoyment, full enjoyment from a fragrance, longer lasting, which is of course what you want. This is drying down. I love it. I love OUD wood, but I wish they could make it monstrous. And that's why I'm curious of what it was like when it very first came out. Was it a beast and has subsequently been reformulated and made weaker, and then all the dupes and all of them have come in and done what it originally was? On to my final thoughts. So I'll go through my marks with you, and my final thought process is Estee Lauder, which owns Tom Ford, safe, legal, compliant, super professional. As a chemist, that's what I really like to see. I don't like unprofessional companies that are not doing things correctly. It costs more money to have things safety assessed and stability testing and all this kind of stuff, and uploading to different portals and things around the world. But you have to have it to fulfill your insurance, and you have to have it to be professional. And they're the rules and regulations which all companies have to abide by. If it hasn't got any of the ingredients on the back, On the outer packaging, it means that the product has not been safety assessed and could be illegal and could be unsafe. Could be. But that's how I judge it. If it hasn't got the INCI on the back, which stands for International Cosmetic Nomenclature, you really need to put it down and walk away from that fragrance, and really need to start telling companies that if they're not putting these information on the back and they're not getting it safety assessed, we're not going to buy it. It should be a level playing field. Even smaller companies do that, but there are some very large companies that don't. I love this fragrance. I think it's classic. I think it's a beautiful smell. I love it. I used to wear it myself, but the projection and longevity isn't too good. And so purely because of that one little thing, I'm going to give it a 9 because I love it very much. I am in reverence to it. I think it's a great perfume, but the longevity projection, reduced. You get sort of hour max and it's done. And for 100 and whatever it was, 160 up, you really need to have something that's strong, robust wall of fragrance. And I would love to see Tom Ford going back to when they were great and making stuff like that. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance views. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.